Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Patek Philippe 5146J annual calendar. You can see this automatic winding yellow gold annual calendar and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, more high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this one is a bit larger than a purely traditional Patek Philippe, 39 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown. It is definitely not the 35 to 36 millimeter watch that you might consider purely traditional, but at the same time it doesn't run into the excessive heights of the oversized watch phenomenon that the rest of the industry has unfortunately plumbed over the last decade plus. This watch is nicely sized for a broad range of wrists, and only 11.5 millimeters thick with a nicely domed bezel. It easily slides underneath a dress cuff. Now, the thing about yellow gold is it visually increases the size of a watch, so the visual signature of this one is bigger than 39, but happily, only 47 millimeters from lug to lug means you can wear it on a wide range of wrists. So you big guys, you don't tend to worry about whether or not a watch is going to dwarf your wrist, but guys like myself who are slight of forearm will be happy to know that this watch should fit securely and with style on wrists down to as small as 14, perhaps even 13.5 centimeters in circumference. And it does have a nice weight to it. The thick bezel, deep lugs, and substantial deployant buckle mean that this one has a nice satisfying precious metal pull on the wrist. It has a substantial dark brown monotone stitch rectangular scale alligator leather strap. It is calf on the bottom, very supple, and you'll note one of several cues that essentially reveal this watch as one of the earliest of the 5146s. The model debuted in late 2005, and properly speaking it was the replacement to the 5035. The first annual calendar debuted in 1996. So instead of the filigree style Patek Philippe Calatrava cross buckle, you have this sort of spade shaped buckle. It's of the same mass and substance, it's just a different design. There are other elements of this watch that recall the early 5146s too, from the presence of the Geneva hallmark, not the Patek Philippe seal on the movement, to the fact that the movement is the 3 Hz caliber 315-299 instead of the contemporary 324 that's used in the current rendition of this watch. The 5146 today featuring the Patek Philippe seal, not the Geneva hallmark, the 324, not the 315, and the Calatrava cross style buckle all set this watch apart and make it something of a discontinued model in its own right. For those looking for late model pre-owned classics that haven't quite been discovered by the vintage market, these early 5146s are a good choice. And one of the reasons is that especially in yellow gold, the watch is uncommonly warm. Yellow gold tends not to be a warm metal. It tends to be a little bit austere, a little bit cold, frigid, very traditional, very formal. This watch bucks that trend with a combination of the dark brown strap, the beautifully compound curved case that has a sensuous, not hard-edged quality to it, and the fact that the dial is what Patek Philippe describes as cream. It's a beautiful gloss lacquer, so it has wonderful reflectivity to it. It looks almost wet, but it's ecru, eggshell, off-white. It's not white. It's not silver. It doesn't have that frigid look that would be a bit of a jarring combination in tandem with yellow gold. It also has a little bit of sports watch versatility in it, in as much as there is a railroad track seconds and minutes track outboard of the hours, and outboard of each hour marker there is a small dot of lume. Likewise, the leaf hands in gold at center do have strips of superluminova, so you can see this watch in low or no light, unlike a pure dress watch. Now you also have a power reserve indicator at 12 o'clock to measure the watch's power reserve, which averages about 40 hours. You have a beautiful moon phase with a bosom aperture counterbalancing it at 6 o'clock, and along that vertical axis of complication you have a discrete date window anchoring the dial at 6 o'clock, with days and months flanking the cannon pinion. The applied yellow gold, Arabic, and stick indices are very handsome, and again, add just a little bit of warmth to this watch. On the case back, as mentioned, it is the caliber 315 in its QA form, which means Quantième Annuel. It is an annual calendar, part of the family of complications that Patek Philippe itself created during the mid to late 1990s. You can see that it's as beautifully finished as anything that comes out of the Patek Philippe manufacturer in the current day. beautiful Côte de Genève across the bridge, linear on the bridges, circular on the winding mass. It also features a nice even and tight perlage pattern on the main plate, most visible beneath the balance. We'll see if we can get that. Beautiful mirrored anglage on the edges of all of the bridges, and beautiful screw and jewel sinks, polished like the edges of those bridges themselves. I like to say this is the kind of movement wherein the screws themselves cost upwards of 20 Swiss francs because individually they are so labor intensive to produce. Of course, free-sprung gyromax, so takes a regulation and holds it more effectively than a mobile index, also more resistant to shock-induced timing variation than a mobile index. Gyromax, since the early 50s, a Patek Philippe mechanical engineering signature. It is a unidirectional winding system for exceptional efficiency, and at the same time, remember, it is the 3 Hz oscillator, not the 4 Hz of the later 324, so it has just a little bit of a statelier tick to it, and a little bit more of a pocket watch-esque jump to the seconds hand as it circulates about the dial. This is a watch that's mechanically, aesthetically, conceptually beautiful, perfect in any situation. As an annual calendar, it's a unique signature of modern Patek Philippe engineering, and as a watch that can do just about everything except get wet, this is an excellent candidate to be your one and only. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website.